You'll often hear the term Northshore riding used, and this is exactly what it is. But where does it come from? The Northshore hails from the North Shore of Vancouver, and it's a term given to these sort of ladders, and they were originally used to span sort of bogs and peaty sections, but they've also turned into a whole form of riding that's really good fun. But to do that, you do need a bunch of basic skills before you can get carried away.
Boom. This piece of Northshore is a perfect example about how slow speed balance and the track stand are really useful. Slow speed balance means you can ride up to something like this and gauge what you need to do as you approach it. Track stand, like Blake's doing up there, is crucial because if you get to it and you're not sure you want to go, you've got the option to stop or go ahead.
When doing any sort of slow speed technical riding like Northshore stuff here, it's important to make sure your bike's ready for it. Of course you can do it on any bike setup as standard, but it's going to be a lot easier for you if you drop your saddle down, you have some flat pedals on your bike so you can definitely get out of any sticky situation. Having a bash plate underneath is pretty helpful because a lot of those rollers and stuff you go over, you're going to catch the chain rings on, and not only is it bad for your chain rings, sometimes your bike can stick in and dig, which you don't want because you'll be over the bars. And then most importantly, the things that cost your bike money are if you bash your rear mech, which can happen, that's pretty bad, and also pay attention to your disc rotors. And what I mean by that is when you're riding on the edges of the trails, if your back wheel slips off, this is why you need that endo technique to move your wheel into the correct position. If it slips up the side, your disc rotor is going to be the first thing that bangs on there, and the same with your rear mech on the other side. So it's something just to be mindful of when you're out riding. Skinnies are one of the characteristic things you do find with Northshore riding, and it's very much a head game you've got to play. If you're riding this in a car park, no problem at all. But as soon as you're raised off the ground, you start freaking out. Now, the things to remember are low speed control, you don't want to go too fast, and take note of where your wheels are, front and rear. If you've got to go around a turn, make sure that your front wheel's to the outside, so your back wheel doesn't fall off the inside too much. Keep balance, keep focus, and keep rolling very slowly. You can work your way along it. Now you're also going to find some super skinny stuff like this, which is a bit of a challenge to any rider, and it's quite good fun. But the same things apply. Kind of got to keep your focus, keep riding ahead, and then using a bit of trials skills, get your weight off, whoo, and I'm done. Low speed skills on tech riding, stuff like this, are essential for any rider to learn. It's only going to make you better at high speed and technical terrain.
So playing around in the car park, practicing endos and hopping the rear wheel, this is where it comes into play. Look at that. Look familiar? Those little corrective hops are crucial on Northshore and so handy. Get you out of trouble, make bits like this easy. So along with the theme of slow speed balance, there's two other key skills that are really useful. The first one being the endo, being able to adjust your back wheel on really narrow obstacles like this. It's super useful. It's get you out of trouble and help you approach these obstacles with confidence. The next one's the wheelie drop. Being able to do a little pedal and lift that front wheel off the drop, just like Blake did there, is really helpful, and you're going to use that tons. So this is a perfect example of the sort of drop you're going to find on Northshore, and you can see as Blake's coming through, he's kept his momentum and rolled off it nice and cleanly, but it's not always that simple. Look at Doddy, bit slower. He needed to pedal off, so you need to master some skills of drop-offs to be able to do that. Haven't got some Northshore? Try a curb. It's the same principle. You can just ride off the edge with some momentum or use a pedal to get your front wheel up.
So most Northshore obstacles are there for a purpose, but something like this is a bit more of a novelty. But it's actually a really good thing to ride because it does take into account all three things you need to ride Northshore. You're going to need to have your balance and be track standing, because getting through a narrow edge like this, chances are your modern handlebars aren't going to fit through it very well. You're also going to need that to set up. You'll need the wheelie drop and also the endo to get yourself in the right position. And of course, like, the whole thing is pretty tricky. Okay, like all Northshore obstacles, you want to be prepared. Use your balance, bit of nerve, and hold your line. So I've got a nice easy gear so I can get up. Now I need to work my way through here. This is a pretty tight little gap. Whoa, I can only just fit my handlebars through there. Whew. And then, okay. Woo! And that's what it's all about. Pretty intimidating stuff to ride, but it involves all your core basics. Having to do the track stand and control your speed, your balance, picking up the front wheel, also adjusting your position by using the endo. Northshore riding is good fun, give it a try. The key with riding any Northshore obstacle, especially ones like this, is just keeping your cool, keep balanced, and away you ride. Final obstacle, as you can see here, is not something you might find around the world too much these days. It's a bit more fun, but still every bit as relevant to learn, the seesaw.
Or other words, the teeter-totter. What you want to do, slow and easy, wins the race, but you don't want to stop on these obstacles because it might get a little bit hairy, so keep your momentum going. But if you want to see another rad video just like this one, click here and you subscribe and you won't miss another video. Down here if you want to watch Flow Trail.
And down here for a scary obstacles video.
Oh! Don't forget to give it a thumbs up like.